if you have followed me for any length of time, you're aware that I deal with health issues. And a big part of this channel has been, me trying to cure or at least alleviate symptoms using natural methods, or, and I would say kind of even fringe methods I use quite often. But I was pretty limited because although I've been like majorly blessed by people that have donated to this channel, most of those were just getting me by in survival. So I wasn't really able to open doors and try these new things I was hearing so much about. It might have saved me some money because that could have been a big waste of money. I know that a lot of products out there right now aren't that effective. So, but I have found a few, and I just kind of want to back up. Recently, what's happened in my life, I'm not sure if I told you guys in my last updates or what was going on, but my mom has been very sick. She was so sick that she was bedridden, and this was as a result of something they rolled out about 3 or 4 years ago that they tried to force everybody to get, which I did not do, but she did. She thought she was safe, and realized not long after that she had made a mistake. So because of that situation, she became very ill, and she was bedridden to the point where I was her caretaker, and I would cook her food. I was even got to the point where I'd have to go up and turn off the light for her because it was so hard for her to even move to be able to turn off a light, if you could imagine. So she was very ill, and so I took care of her, and then about 2 months ago, she passed away. And it's hard because I was really close to my mom. I've obviously known her all my life, but I was very close. But in a lot of ways, it was really, to me, just amazing how her death played out, because I had prayed. She didn't know Jesus. She didn't know. She said she had a relationship with God, but that she would go to heaven because she's been a good person. And whenever I would try to explain to her that's not what the Bible says, she would get mad. Didn't want me to bring up Jesus. But anyways, in the end, she did ask for me to pray over her. I was able to pray over her for forgiveness. She accepted Jesus. So that's like such a relief on my heart. But this video isn't about my mom passing, but it is about going forward, some of the changes I've been able to make, because now that she's passed, I was able to inherit her money, and I'm using a lot of that right now. My thinking was, I can sit here and try to live off the money for a little while, and then, but where am I going to be with that? How am I going to get ahead? What is progressing after, a year or two of that? What do I do next? So my thinking was I should be investing in a business. I'm trying to work on some different business ideas, but B, to also use some of the monies I have right now to try to get better. And this opens, a lot of options for new treatments. So there's a few products. I've tried quite a few products recently, and just being able to go places now and do different things. Now that she's passed, I've been able to open them. And I've discovered, I guess, two that I really, really think are amazing and have some potential. So I wanted to tell you guys about one of the products I've been using recently, because of what it's done for me and what I think it will do for anybody that has chronic pain or anxiety or trouble sleeping, insomnia. Those were all huge ones for me. And I would stay awake all night because I wasn't tired. And then in the day, I would be exhausted the whole day, not getting good quality sleep. I had aches, pains, that kind of thing. Anxiety was always a big one for me. I still currently have it, but I've noticed it's diminished, and I believe there's a reason behind that. So let me explain kind of the progression of this whole thing, because a lot of people, when you say the word EMF, they think it's hogwash, or, I don't even know what the word is for it, but a lot of people don't think there's science behind it, which there actually is. And, when you think about it, we have cell phones in our hands all day. And I think it's in the best interest of these cell phone companies to not let us know the gravity of the dangers of EMF, along with everything is, at this point, you have a smart meter, you have, your refrigerator talks to your, it's too much at this point. There's just Wi-Fi and different, frequencies floating all around your house, and some of them are not good for us. So what I had done was kind of looking into grounding. And I have, a yard with a patch of grass in it. So what I had started doing in the, early days of looking at this was I would go stand in the grass with just my bare feet and maybe, for half hour. I couldn't even stand the whole time. I would usually sit down, but maybe a half hour of time out there. And it did seem that after I would do that, I would notice that my body somewhat felt better. I mean, very, very small amount, but consistently, it seemed like if I was having a really achy, sore day and I went out and did that for a half an hour and just kind of sat in the grass, I would start to feel a little bit better, very, very mildly. So I kind of wanted to bring it up to the next level because it's not always easy to just go sit outside for hours on end. So what I did was I bought a grounding pad, and I bought it and I installed it and tried it out with kind of a lot of not expecting it to do much. I knew that when I turned my phone to airplane mode and would sleep with it at night, it seemed like I had better days, the days that my Wi-Fi was off. But I still didn't think this grounding pad was going to do like all that much. I didn't have high expectations for it. So what it is, it's just a pad, and it has a little plug on it. And you plug that into the bottom hole on your outlet, which is the grounding wire. So supposedly it's supposed to go to the ground and connect you up. So I was like, well, cool, let's try this out. And what I did was, since a lot of my time sometimes is spent in bed, I figured I'll just lay it down by where my feet are. And that way when I sleep, or if I'm just chilling, like, I'm good to go. I'm being grounded. So I did it. I didn't think a whole lot about it. I think a day or two went by, and it wasn't like a visible, like, wow, like you take a pill and a half hour later, you're like, whoa, like I feel something. I'm whatever the pill's supposed to do. So I'm used to that kind of reaction. I don't feel like there was anything like I felt it coming on, or now I feel better. Like, wow, it was nothing like that. But what happened was, a few days after I had been using this, I started noticing my hips were hurting, my lower back, some of my more painful areas that I usually have. And I noticed kind of an increase in anxiety. And I thought, well, what's going on? Is this pad not working? And I looked, and it had come unplugged. The grounding port had come unplugged from the unit. So I thought, wow, so I plugged it in and I set my phone alarm for 2 hours. And later, I wrote on a piece of paper what my anxiety and what my pain levels were. And within a couple hours, the alarm went off. I looked at it again and reassessed again and said, what's my anxiety? What are my pain levels? And they had decreased. And at that point, I could feel that, I remember how I felt 2 hours ago, and I feel better now. So I thought that was really interesting, because it couldn't even be like a placebo effect, I wouldn't imagine, when you don't realize that it's unplugged. And, I would think I would still keep thinking it's just working. So that happened to me several times, where it would come unplugged and I would feel it. I would know before I even looked, oh, that thing came unplugged. And I would look, and sure enough, the plug had popped out. Anytime it was plugged in, I never had that thought. I felt pretty good. So that's what started getting me into thinking, like, wow, this grounding is like no joke. Like it's something I believe I benefit from. So recently I went on a little trip. I was going to be gone for a couple of days and staying in a hotel. And I thought, well, I like this grounding pad so much, so I'm going to bring it with me. And I actually packed it up in a suitcase, did my trip, put it in the hotel bed, and felt great. So as I was thinking about this and thinking like what this means, and really trying to look at different EMF, ways I'm receiving EMF, ways I can I'm like, let's really maximize this. Let's really get it to where I'm not as little EMF as possible. And the more I would do that, the better I would feel. And so next step was to think, well, how can I make this mobile? I can't walk around with a grounding pad and go to the movies and plug it in somewhere, or, walking down the street, you're kind of without your grounding pad unless you want to go barefoot, which I don't mind, but I don't think it's generally not appropriate in all these areas. So what I found was this amazing, amazing device. And it is this. It's a very simple looking device. Like, no frills. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look that simple. It looks pretty crazy. I'll try to get a closer picture and put it into the video. But what this does, and I'm not going to try to fake pretend that I know how to explain the science behind it, because I don't understand it. I don't understand how EMF works, why it gets me, the way I feel. So basically what I did was I purchased this. Well, I think the way I understand it is it takes EMF, and there's a non-natural EMF, like not native, not organic, that comes in you from these wireless devices. And this one, I think, and don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I think this thing with silicone and different things that they use to make EMF, somehow what it does is transforms the EMF, I believe, into an organic part, like an organic EMF that, magnets, a frequency that our body is adjusted to. That's a natural, I guess, form. And so, with the grounding pad, I don't know if it's discharging it or what, and I don't really understand how the two are different or how they work together, but I got this necklace, which was not cheap. And it was one of those higher end things, I guess, that I was like, well, but if it works, it works. And that's golden to me. Instead of having to have a grounding pad and only have certain amounts of time, I got this. And I'll tell you what, like, if the grounding pad was a 10, this thing is a 20, because I never take it off, for starters. I always have it on. The only time it pops off is when I jump in the shower in the morning. But other than that, I sleep with it on. All day it's hanging around my neck. And you don't necessarily even have to hang it around your neck. A lot of them, you can put on keychain. You can just have it by you. I think this one says it, I don't remember if it's 30 feet or what it was, but it said something like it has an area. I got the Flex. It's called the Flex. And it has a certain area that is, I guess it does what it does to that area. So it's almost something you could just have on the nightstand by your bed and then take it with you when you go. But I always already wear a lot of necklaces, so I didn't mind throwing another one on so I don't forget it. But I'll tell you what, my sleep has been amazing since I used to have trouble falling asleep. I fall asleep and just like a baby at night. And I get a solid 8 hours. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I slept. Like before, I almost felt like my body wasn't recovering because I was not sleeping well. But I notice now that I sleep so easily. I fall asleep within minutes of getting in bed. And I wake up feeling a lot more rested, a lot less pain. I mean, I just feel better overall with sleep. With pain, I notice as well, like I don't have as many aches and pains and whatever else is going on, probably from arthritis and, peripheral neuropathy and different things. But I notice my pain is much less. And I also notice the anxiety. And a lot of the anxiety that I get is like panic attacks, or I get just where my mind will not stop. It just keeps worrying and going over things. So I've noticed that has been working incredibly well. My mood has been improved because of it. And I could see kind of how they could all play in conjunction with each other, where if you can get the anxiety down, you're going to have better sleep, and you're probably going to have less pain because you're sleeping better. So it's like, it feels like they all work together. So this is something I've almost thought about buying it for the people I care about. I've also thought about buying an extra one just in case something happened to this. I wouldn't even want to go, I would want to go as short a possible time before getting it back on me. It's just become a really helpful device. It's almost like, leaving your house without with shoes on, without shoes on, or it's just really cool. And I figure the benefits that I've received make it well worth the investment. I think I paid around $200 for it, maybe a little bit more. But they do have other sizes. They have, small ones, and I would imagine, and that's what I might do, is I might get a smaller one and just have something smaller that's tucked away in case I need it ever. But I'd rather not blow more money on one if I don't have to. But I did want to tell you guys about it. I wanted to tell you what it's done for me and how just incredible it's been. I did sign up before making this video as an affiliate, so I will get a percentage if you purchase one. Please do so through me if you purchase one, because that will help me fund doing more videos. It'll help me pay off the bills of what I've spent already. But that's one thing that I just really wanted to share, and I would like to try to make more videos on it once I understand it a little bit better. And I've only been wearing it maybe about 2 weeks now, so I figure with time, maybe I'll see different results. But the grounding pad, thankfully, I was able to pack that back away. I have that as a backup as well. But I just want to tell you guys, I know a lot of people on here suffer with chronic pain, and a lot of people in general. And I'm really wondering how much of that is from, this radiation, this electronic radiation we're getting all the time. It just seems like we're bathed in it. And I know that people are a lot sicker nowadays than they used to be. You look back even to like the 80s, you didn't see a bunch of people with, I didn't see a bunch of people with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome. So I would think, I'm sure we're getting hit by multiple things, chemicals, but this is one that it kind of just takes out of the game, and it feels right. I just feel so much calmer too. It's unbelievable. I wish there was a way they could give these out as a sample, something you could just use for 10 days, see how you feel, and then it would dissolve or whatever unless you buy it. But because if they did that, I can't see why somebody after trying it would be dissatisfied with having worn it or paying for it. So anyways, I will try to make some more videos on this. There's another device that I want to share with you guys as well soon, but hopefully using these therapeutics that have been working for me, I can start making more videos and just kind of share my progress. So I did put a link for it down in the link below, or in the description below. And if you like this video, please give it a like, please comment. I will respond to all comments on here. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. God bless.